Money didn't begin as paper, and it didn't begin as numbers on a screen. Long before banks existed, people were already trading. Before governments issued currency, value had to be remembered. Money existed in one fragile place: human trust. In small communities, people depended on one another to survive. Every exchange was remembered by the group. Every favor mattered. Reputation became a form of wealth. Value was built slowly over time, through shared risk, through shared survival. There were no systems to protect trade, no laws to enforce fairness. Only belief holding everything together. And belief, when tested long enough, can collapse an entire system. As communities grew larger and more complex, the simple system of barter slowly began to break down in ways most people did not notice at first. People could no longer rely on memory alone to track favors, debts, and exchanges that stretched across long periods of time. Trade required coincidence, timing, and mutual need, all happening at the exact same moment between two people. If one person needed grain but the other needed tools, the exchange failed, even though value clearly existed on both sides. Food spoiled, opportunities disappeared, and time was lost, waiting for perfect matches that rarely arrived when they were needed. As towns expanded and strangers replaced neighbors, trust became harder to measure and easier to abuse. Barter was not evil, and it was not wrong by intention. It was simply too fragile to support a growing civilization. When you look at the world from a distance, everything seems calm and stable. But as you move closer, you begin to notice a constant motion beneath the surface. Economies are not built on numbers alone. They are shaped by trust, fear, and long-term decisions made years before results appear. Some countries understood this early. They invested in production, protected their institutions, and planned far beyond the next election cycle. Their success today is not luck. It is the outcome of patience, discipline, and consistency. Others chased fast growth and short-term gains. They expanded quickly without solid foundations. When pressure arrived, those systems struggled to survive. The real difference is not money itself. It is how money is managed, and only nations that think decades ahead are able to build lasting economic strength. Money slowly moved away from people. It stopped being personal. It stopped being remembered. Instead of trust between humans, value was stored in objects. First metal, then coins. Gold did not matter because it was shiny. It mattered because it was rare, because it was difficult to copy, because it survived fire, water, and time. For the first time in history, money felt stable, predictable, reliable. Trade expanded, cities grew, empires formed. But this stability came with a hidden cost. Power shifted quietly. Those who controlled the gold controlled the system. Kings, rulers, institutions. People no longer trusted each other directly. They trusted what sat behind walls and guards. Money stopped being a shared agreement. It became centralized, and once money becomes centralized, control follows. Freedom does not disappear suddenly. It fades slowly. Centuries passed. Empires rose. Empires collapsed. Gold survived them all. But gold had a problem. It was heavy, slow to move, dangerous to transport, so a new solution was created: paper. At first, paper was honest. It was a promise, a receipt. You could exchange it for gold anytime. No questions asked. Banks were not creators of money. They were guardians. People trusted the paper because they trusted the gold behind it. The system worked smoothly. Trade exploded. Wealth increased. Until one quiet moment changed everything. There was more paper than gold, and most people never realized. Because trust had already shifted, not to metal, but to institutions. And institutions had discovered something powerful. Promises were easier to create than gold. money began to change its nature. It was no longer limited by physical scarcity. It was limited only by decisions. Governments realized something critical. They could create money without creating real value. At first, this power was used carefully, for emergencies, for wars, for recovery. But once the door was opened, it was never fully closed again. Printing money became easier than raising productivity. Borrowing became easier than saving. Every crisis followed the same solution. Inject more money. Delay the pain. Debt stopped being temporary. It became permanent. Prices began to rise quietly. Year after year, wages tried to keep pace, but always lagged behind. People worked longer hours, took more risks, saved less, not because they were irresponsible, but because the rules of the system had changed. Money stopped preserving time. It began erasing it. Inflation is one of the most misunderstood forces in modern history. It is often described as a problem, a mistake, a temporary failure of the system. But inflation is not chaos. It is not an accident. It is design. A slow and deliberate mechanism that transfers value quietly over time, from those who save to those who borrow, from individuals to institutions. Money loses purchasing power every year. Human effort does not lose value the same way. This creates constant pressure. If you stand still, you slowly fall behind. Saving feels pointless. Spending feels urgent. People are pushed into risk, into speculation, into debt. Not because they are reckless, not because they chase luxury, but because stability has been removed from the system. Those who understand how this works adapt early. They change behavior. They protect themselves. Those who do not understand it feel confused and trapped, not because they are lazy, but because no one ever explained that the rules of money had changed. As money evolved, trust moved once again. From physical objects to written promises, from written promises to digital systems, money slowly became invisible. Balances on screens, numbers stored in databases. It moved faster than ever before, across borders, across continents. Creating money became easy, too easy. So did manipulation. The distance between money and real economic value continued to grow. People stopped asking what their money actually represented. They only cared that it functioned, until systems failed. And when trust breaks in digital money, it breaks instantly. There is nothing to touch, nothing to exchange. Only belief remains. And belief, once broken, is extremely difficult to restore. Financial crises are not random events, they are predictable outcomes. Every collapse follows a familiar pattern. Easy credit, artificial growth, false confidence, then panic. Liquidity disappears, markets freeze. Trust evaporates. Governments intervene. Bailouts. Emergency programs. The pain is delayed, not eliminated. Debt grows larger. Each recovery feels weaker than the one before, because the foundation is never repaired. Only the numbers change. The system survives. People adapt. But the cost is always paid later, quietly, gradually, by those who believed the system was stable. Technology promised financial freedom, instant payments, global access, lower barriers. But it also increased control. Every transaction recorded, every balance monitored. Privacy faded silently. Money became programmable. Rules replaced choice. Spending could be guided. Access could be limited. Not by markets, but by policy. Efficiency increased. Autonomy declined. Most people accepted this shift because convenience feels safe. But convenience always has a price, and that price is usually paid later. History does not repeat exactly, but it always rhymes. Money changes form. Power remains. Those who understand the system position themselves early. Those who ignore it pay the price later. This series is not about fear. It is about awareness. Because once you understand how money truly works, you stop blaming yourself for problems you did not create. And that awareness is the first step toward control, not over the system, but over your place within it.